What is up, guys? I just wanted to make a quick video because Hoyoverse just announced or released Black Swan's kit and the light cones that are going to be coming out in 2.0. And I also got a new camera, so I wanted to also try it out in this video. Now you guys can finally see my face in better quality, hopefully. Um, but yeah, I'm probably going to be using this in future streams and videos. But enough of that. Let's get into Black Swan's kit. Again, I'm just on the Hoyo Lab website, where they release all the Hoyoverse updates and stuff for games. All right. So we got the character preview here. Black Swan, 5 stars. Very long hair, very beautiful character. We can see she's Path Nihility and type Wind, but if you're following the game, I assume you would know that by now, especially surrounding all the hype for 2.0. And the first thing that they show off in the character preview are going to be the traces. So these are like, your big nodes on your when you go through the character's traces. So these are going to affect the different aspects of her kit. So first we have Viscera's Disquiet. After using the skill to hit an enemy that has Wind Shear, Bleed, Burn, or Shock, each of these debuffs respectively has a chance of inflicting one extra stack of Arcana. All right, we'll probably learn what Arcana is when we read through her actual skills. All right. Goblet's Dredges. There is a chance to inflict one stack of Arcana when a target enters battle. Every time an enemy target receives DOT during a single attack by an ally, there is a chance for the target to be inflicted with one stack of Arcana. There is a limit to the number of Arcana stacks that can be inflicted on an enemy in a single attack. So I guess that means enemy target receives DOT during a single attack by an ally. Hmm. Every time an enemy target receives DOT during a single attack by an ally. Does that mean like if Kafka procs it, it's only going to no, it receives DOT during during an attack. So I guess if Kafka procs all of them, it's going to stack that number of times. But there's a limit to the stack. It doesn't specify the limit here. Maybe it will when we read through her other abilities. All right. Candle Flame's Portent increases damage dealt by this unit by an amount equal to a certain percentage of effect hit rate up to a limit. Interesting. So of course you want to stack crit rate on this character with your relics. That way you can get more damage out of her. These are just the leveling materials you're going to need. You got these cores, these bore holes that you're going to need from that new boss we have to fight, new weekly boss, and Fiery Spirit. Well, since let's see here, this is a new item. Unfortunately, won't be able to pre-farm these, but oh well, you can at least farm everything else for the time being. So she comes out. She comes out very soon. All right, her technique. Ooh, they have a little animation here for us. Looks really cool. You can see all the tarot cards flying around her. From Facade to Verite, I think that's pronounced Verite, I'm not 100% sure. At the beginning of the next battle, there is a chance to inflict a stack of Arcana on each enemy. If Arcana is successfully inflicted on any enemy, this effect will be repeated on the affected enemy until it fails to inflict Arcana on any of them. The re-trigger chance of inflicting Arcana will be lowered with each successful Arcana inflict. So, if you get super good RNG, this shit's going to be proccing over and over and over again. But it's also good that this seems to be one of those techniques where you don't actually need to hit the enemy, which means that you can stack it with other buffs like Bronia's and Ronmei's, for example. All right, basic attack. See, standard basic attack animation. It's cool. She flips up the tarot card, snaps, hits the enemy. Shows a little cool symbol there. Great. Persepossence, Silent Dawn. Deals wind damage to a single target enemy with a chance of inflicting a stack of Arcana. Okay, so her base attack can also inflict stacks of Arcana. If the hit target currently has Wind Shear, Bleed, Burn, or Shock applied to them, each respectively has a chance of additionally inflicting one extra stack on Arcana on the enemy. Okay, this seems her kit's gonna seem broken if you're gonna run like a bunch of other DOT characters in the same team with her, which I assume you could do since this is the way her kit seems to work. Stack all those DOTs and you can proc all these stacks of Arcana. I don't know, maybe it'll mention what the max stacks of Arcana is going to be, especially because it mentioned up here in her one of her traces that there's a limit to the ways you can stack them in specific ways. All right, let's get to the talent. All right, Loom of Fate's Capri. Each enemy target has a certain chance at the start of each turn to be afflicted by a stack of Arcana for every instance of DOT sustained. When afflicted by Arcana, enemy targets will receive the Wind DOT at the start of each turn. Each stack of Arcana increases the damage multiplier, which is then reset to one stack. Okay, so once you proc it, it resets, and then I guess it starts counting up again, depending on the number of DOTs that the enemy has. There's a limit for the Arcana stacks. It's probably going to mention them down here in a second. At the beginning of an enemy's turn, when Arcana causes damage, Black Swan will trigger additional effects that can be stacked based on the number of Arcana stacks inflicted on a target. Over 3 stacks, inflicts Wind DOT to adjacent enemies and has a chance of inflicting 1 stack of Arcana to adjacent enemies. So that's going to be an AoE. Over 7 stacks, the DOT inflicted this time ignores a certain percentage of the defense of both the targets and adjacent targets, which is very good. It's actually, I did take a quick peek at her light cone, and this will pair very well with her light cone. All right, and her skills. Oh my god, we got the little robot dinosaur here. It's got a little chef's hat. Nice animation. Kind of looks like a chandelier she's dropping on them. At least that's what it looks like to me. Decadence, False Twilight. All right. Deals wind damage to a single target enemy and any adjacent targets. Okay, so it's going to be a AoE skill. At the same time, there's a chance of inflicting 1 stack of Arcana on the target enemy and the adjacent targets. And there's a chance of reducing the defense of the target enemy and the adjacent targets. Okay, so the defense down can actually hit the adjacent enemies too. That's really nice. Lasting for a certain number of turns, of course, because it's debuff. Um, you know, I just realized it didn't specify what the limit. It just says that there's a limit for Arcana stacks, but we don't know what that limit is because this is over 7, even though there's no additional um effect that gets triggered by having a certain number over 7. So I wonder how high the actual Arcana stack can go. All right, and her ultimate. If you haven't seen this animation yet, here it is. It's a little choppy here, but it's a very, very cool animation. All right, Bliss of Other Worlds Embrace. Applies Epiphany on all enemies for a certain number of turns. Enemies affected by Epiphany take more damage in their turn, and their Arcana effect is regarded as wind shear, bleed, burn, and shock effects. In addition, when their Arcana effect is triggered at the beginning of the next turn, the Arcana stacks are not reset. Ooh. The stack the stack non-reset effect can be triggered up to 1 time in Epiphany's duration. And its charges are replenished when Epiphany is applied again, dealing wind damage to all targets. So the stack non-reset effect can trigger up to 1 time in Epiphany's duration, and its charges are replenished when Epiphany is applied again. But it seems like her ult's the only way to apply Epiphany, so maybe if you... It just says a certain number of turns for Epiphany, so we don't know how long that actually lasts, but I assume that means... Let me just make sure I'm reading this properly. Interesting. So I guess that means if you spam her ult again before Epiphany from your first ult goes away, it just replenishes the charge. But it says that can be triggered up to 1 time, to where your Arcana stack will not reset. Yeah. So I mean, if it's only 1 time, I guess you would have to ult again regardless. It mentions charges. I don't know if her Eidolons will give her more non-reset effect charges on Epiphany in her alt, but I guess we will find out. But obviously her Eidolons aren't here. This is just their basic kit that they have here. But yeah, those are all her skills. I'm sorry if I read anything incorrectly. You guys can correct me in the comments if I did. But let's move on to the light cone. Now this shows I'm mainly gonna go over her light cone, of course, the rarity 5 one. I will do this one just to show you guys they are putting the rarity 4 one here for this. I don't know how we're gonna be able to acquire this one. But increases wearer's break effect by 28%. When the wearer uses their ultimate, increases their crit weight by 15%, lasting for 2 turns. Upgrade materials, that stuff. Oh wait, what is this here? Oh, are these? My bad. These are probably going to be the other light cones you can pull on the light cone warp banner, I assume. Yeah, that's what I assume is going to be. My bad. I don't know why that confused me so much. But all right, let's go through her light cone here. Light cone preview. We got the picture. She's holding a little flower. Very pretty. Reforge Remembrance. These are just stats on it if you have a max out at level 80. All right, Light Cone ability, Crystallize. This is just going to be superimposed level 1. Increases the wearer's effect hit rate by 40%, which is a very massive boost. When the wearer deals damage to an enemy inflicted with wind shear, burn, shock, or bleed, they will individually gain 1 stack of profit. This effect can stack up to 4 times. In a single battle, each type of DOT can only generate 1 stack of profit. Every stack of profit increases the wearer's attack by 5%, and the DOT they deal will ignore 7.2% of the target's defense. Keep in mind, this is 7.2% for each stack of profit. You can get up to 4 stacks. That's insane. And this is just superimposed level 1. And of course, you're probably only gonna get maximum effect out of this um light cone if you use her with multiple different DOT characters, of course, because it seems like you will need each elemental type of DOT to gain all these stacks of profit that you need. You would need a wind, you would need a burn, you would need a shock, and you would need a bleed. You can't just stack 4 wins. But yeah, upgrade materials again. You're gonna need this for the new material for this as well. But yeah, that if these are the stats they're going with, this looks like it's gonna be a pretty goddamn good character, guys. And I can't wait till she releases. She has so many debuff things. There's Arcana. If you get her light cone, you're gonna be able to do profit. Well, I guess it's technically a buff. Then there's gonna be from her alt you get what was it called? Euphoria. What was it called? Ultimate Epiphany. She has Epiphany. She gets a bunch of reducing defense down buffs. It's insane. It's actually going to be insane, and she's going to pair very well with your DOT characters that you already have. So yeah, I just wanted to go over that with you guys, and I wanted to try out the new camera. So yeah, yeah. Hope you guys are as excited about the 2.0 update as I am. I cannot wait to go to Penacony, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.